The Misrad Hapnim application through the Jewish Agency represents the critical transition point where individual Aliyah cases move from initial documentation gathering and interview processes into formal review by Israel's Ministry of Interior for final immigration approval. This stage involves the Jewish Agency serving as intermediary between potential immigrants and Israeli government authorities, translating personal immigration stories into official administrative cases that meet the exacting standards required for law of return implementation. The Jewish Agency's role in facilitating Misrad Hapnim applications reflects the organization's unique position as both advocate for diaspora Jews seeking Aliyah and administrative partner with Israeli government ministries responsible for immigration control. Agency staff possess specialized expertise in preparing applications that satisfy Ministry of Interior requirements while addressing the complex documentation challenges faced by immigrants from diverse backgrounds and circumstances. This dual function requires delicate navigation between supporting applicants' immigration goals and ensuring compliance with Israeli administrative and security standards. The application preparation process begins with comprehensive review of all documentation gathered during earlier phases of the Aliyah process, ensuring that materials meet the specific formatting, authentication, and content requirements established by the Ministry of Interior. Jewish Agency staff examine birth certificates, marriage records, religious documentation, criminal background checks, medical reports, and supporting materials to identify any deficiencies or inconsistencies that could delay or complicate ministry review. This preliminary screening prevents common administrative errors that frequently result in application rejections or requests for additional documentation. Translation and authentication coordination represents a significant component of application preparation, as the Ministry of Interior requires all foreign documents to be professionally translated into Hebrew and properly apostilled according to international authentication standards. The Jewish Agency maintains relationships with certified translation services and authentication providers, ensuring that critical documents receive proper treatment and certification. However, the responsibility for obtaining correctly translated and authenticated documents ultimately rests with applicants, who must navigate complex international authentication procedures that vary by country and document type. Security clearance coordination between the Jewish Agency and various Israeli security agencies occurs during the application preparation phase, though the specific details of this process remain confidential for obvious security reasons. The agency serves as liaison for security-related inquiries, additional documentation requests, or clarification of information that may arise during background investigation procedures. Applicants with complex travel histories, professional backgrounds in sensitive industries, or connections to regions of security concern may experience extended security review periods that affect overall application timing. Medical documentation review ensures that health-related information submitted during earlier phases meets Ministry of Interior standards and adequately addresses any health considerations that might affect immigration approval or integration services planning. The Jewish Agency coordinates with Israeli health authorities to clarify medical documentation requirements, arrange additional medical examinations when necessary, and ensure that chronic conditions or special medical needs are properly documented for post-immigration healthcare planning. Family coordination becomes particularly complex when multiple family members are applying for Aliyah simultaneously, or when family members have different immigration statuses or timing preferences. The Jewish Agency must ensure that related applications are processed coherently, that family relationship documentation is consistent across multiple cases, and that any dependencies between family members' immigration statuses are properly addressed. Complex family situations, including divorced parents with shared custody, elderly parents requiring care, or family members with different eligibility pathways, require careful coordination to ensure successful outcomes for all family members. Application submission timing requires strategic coordination between applicant readiness, Ministry of Interior processing capacity, and various external factors that might affect approval timelines. The Jewish Agency provides guidance on optimal submission timing, based on current processing delays, seasonal variations in ministry workload, and anticipated changes in immigration policies or procedures. Political developments, security situations, or administrative changes within Israeli government ministries can all affect application processing times and approval rates. Follow-up procedures during ministry review involve the Jewish Agency monitoring application status, responding to requests for additional information, and facilitating communication between applicants and ministry officials. The agency serves as translator for both language and cultural barriers that might complicate direct communication between diaspora applicants and Israeli bureaucratic systems. This intermediary role proves particularly valuable for applicants whose Hebrew language skills are insufficient for navigating complex administrative communications. Appeals and problem resolution become necessary when applications face unexpected complications, documentation challenges, or administrative errors that threaten approval prospects. The Jewish Agency's expertise in Ministry of Interior procedures and established relationships with government officials enable effective advocacy for applicants facing bureaucratic obstacles. Common issues requiring agency intervention include lost documentation, administrative errors in case processing, miscommunication about requirements, and coordination problems between different government ministries involved in immigration approval. Approval notification and next step coordination occur when the Ministry of Interior grants final immigration approval, triggering a complex series of logistical arrangements for actual immigration implementation. The Jewish Agency coordinates with approved immigrants to schedule flights, arrange temporary housing, organize absorption services, and ensure smooth transition from diaspora residents to Israeli citizenship. This coordination requires careful timing to ensure that various service providers, government agencies, and support organizations are prepared for each immigrant's arrival. Conditional approval situations arise when the ministry grants immigration approval subject to specific requirements or limitations that must be addressed either before or after arrival in Israel. Common conditional approvals include requirements for additional medical examinations, military service clarifications, or completion of specific integration programs. The Jewish Agency helps applicants understand these conditions and coordinates compliance to ensure that conditional approvals convert to full immigration status. Rejection management represents one of the most challenging aspects of the Jewish Agency's role, as staff must communicate disappointing news while exploring potential remedies or alternative pathways for unsuccessful applicants. Common rejection reasons include inadequate documentation of Jewish identity, security clearance issues, health concerns that exceed Israeli absorption capacity, or administrative errors in application preparation. The agency provides guidance on appeal procedures, alternative documentation strategies, and timing for potential reapplication. Documentation storage and record keeping throughout the application process reflect the Jewish Agency's understanding that immigration cases may require long-term file maintenance for various post-immigration purposes. Copies of critical documents, application materials, and correspondence with Israeli authorities are maintained in organized files that can support subsequent citizenship applications, family reunification cases, or various administrative needs that arise after successful immigration. Processing timeline management requires the Jewish Agency to provide realistic expectations about approval timeframes while managing applicant anxiety about uncertain waiting periods. Processing times vary significantly based on case complexity, applicant background, current political circumstances, and administrative capacity within relevant Israeli government ministries. The agency's experience with thousands of similar cases enables relatively accurate timeline predictions, though individual cases may deviate significantly from typical processing patterns. Communication protocols between the Jewish agency and applicants during ministry review require balancing transparency about case status with appropriate confidentiality regarding security and administrative procedures. Regular status updates, clear explanation of any delays or additional requirements, and prompt notification of significant developments help maintain applicant confidence while ensuring realistic expectations about the often complex and unpredictable nature of government immigration processing.